All right, today we're going to talk about how we used the phone back in the 1980s.
1980s.
Yeah, because I just asked Edward if he talks on the phone with his friends, and he had mentioned to me that no, you mostly just write back and forth on some social media.
Yes, we do, and we just
What?
like that.
Which media?
Mainly Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the phone over here. Let's see here. I wonder if we can flip this image. How do you flip it?
Okay, let me just. I think.
Is it? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just go like this.
Yeah, because I think you have to press the stop recording button and then.
Well, we don't want to stop the recording button. No. So we'll just use this little bracket thingy that Tita used to use. And I'm gonna go sit over there next to you. There we go. And then we'll talk about how we use the phone. All right, so I'm gonna sit over here. So I'll be in the camera as well. My hair is probably all wacky. Hey, look, we have the same colored shirts today. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I've got a toast going. So Edward,
Nope.
don't worry about that.
It's just.
When I was a teenager, we used to get a phone allowance.
Oh yeah.
So my parents would not let me use the phone as soon as I got home after school. I would have to first do my homework. After my homework was done, I would have to do some chores. I would either do some yard work, clean up my room, put stuff away, do some yard work. Did I say yard work already?
I believe you can, but I do those things occasionally.
So usually the homework would take an hour to 2 hours, and then chores would be another hour. So every day, about 3 hours per day, I would have to do something constructive. And
Constructive,
instructive as well. And then after that, I would have to ask permission. I would say, Mom, Dad, I want to use the phone to call my friends. And they would say, okay. Don't worry about the toast. But here's the funny part. My sister also lived with us, right?
Right.
And she was almost 4 years older than me. So
Oh,
she also wanted to use the phone because we had one phone line.
One
phone line. Right. How many phone lines do we have here in this house?
We have an extension, I think.
No. How many?
Just
we have cell phones, right?
Right, we have one.
Everyone has a cell phone. So how many people live in this family?
5
So that's 5 different phone lines, and then we have the
routers.
so-called landline, which is a 259.
5769.
Yeah, I don't even remember
house
the
number.
5769.
I remember him. I track him
Good.
down.
So that's our emergency line, just in case anything happens. If all the cell phones go down, we use that one by Uma, and it's about $7 or $8 a month. It's a deal. Anyway, just imagine that was the only phone we had, Uma. Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine 5 people trying to use the phone? You would have to take turns, right? So you would my parents, grandparent, Tita would be the ones that had first dibs. They would be the ones that used the phone first if they had to. And so now after they're done and all our chores are done, parents knew that we would love being on the phone, just like they were when they were younger. So then we'd have to wait, and then there was a seniority. So first, my mom, since she's the boss, she would get first dibs on the phone. Then my dad would do it and figure out how to use his phone for work. He later on got his own phone line just for his. He had an office at home.
Oh yeah, he has an office.
And nobody could touch that phone line. That was just for him. Later on in the later 80s, until 1991, I think we had 2 phone lines. But before that, from 1980 to 1988, I think we only had 1 phone line. And when we also lived in San Francisco, we only had 1 phone line.
Oh yeah, 1 phone line.
So when I started using the phone was probably around 6th, 7th, and 8th. More like 7th and 8th grade is when I started using the phone because it was a social thing.
Oh.
So I had guy friends that I would call, and then I had one girl that I would call.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, her name was Bobby. Yeah.
Bobby or
Bobby?
Oh, Bobby.
Barbara.
Oh, Barbara. Yeah.
Bobby Layton.
Bobby Layton.
Of course, the only reason anybody wanted to call her was because she was very nice to look at. She was beautiful, and all the guys in the school, in the class, wanted to go out with her, date her. And she was very very smart about dealing with the boys. She knew that all the boys wanted to go out with her, but she was always friendly to all the boys because she was very smart. I wonder if she became a politician. I have no clue. Anyway. She knew how to handle us boys. Anyway, she probably got maybe 10 phone calls a day from the guys in class, and there were only about 18 boys or 20 boys in the class. So I remember, I had her phone memorized. So I would call her maybe a few times a week, just to shoot the breeze. You know what that means? And just to talk about nothing, really.
Shoot the breeze.
And yeah, she would answer the phone most of the time. And first I'd call, and it was her parents that would answer the phone, unless she got to the phone first. And I would say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Layton or Mrs. Layton. Is Bobby home?"
Mm.
And they would say, "Sure, may I ask who's calling?" And I would say, "Well, this is Rudy from her class." And she'd say, "Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see if she's around." And then she would get on the phone and talk. And we would talk for maybe 15, 20 minutes max. And then that's it. And then you go on to the next phone call. Then I would call my friend. I had a friend named Josh. He was kind of...
Oh, yeah,
he was an interesting guy to talk to on the phone because he was like very sarcastic.
Yeah,
it was fun to talk to him about music too. Then I called my friend Max.
Yeah,
and we would talk about girls on the phone. And then sometimes I would call my friend Juan Shedrick. And then sometimes I would call, who else would I call? Josh, Max. I didn't really talk to Graham on the phone.
Oh yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yes, exactly. And then, let's see here. Then sometimes some of the girls would call me. And depending on who they were, I was either not home or home. I didn't want to talk to some of them.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really cool because we would socialize at school, right? So you would have to talk to each other in person. And then after school, after all your chores are done around 5 p.m. or later, the people I would call also had the same thing. That their parents would say, "Hey, you can only talk on the phone for so long." And so then we used the phone, the landline, which had a cord. So then you couldn't get too far away from where it was connected. So then so what I did is I went to Radio Shack and I used my...
Radio Shack, may they rest in peace as well. Yeah. There are a few locations left.
Yeah. So Radio Shack used to sell phone extension line cords.
Really?
So because your phone line was only usually about maybe 10 to 20 feet long.
Oh, that was short.
But then what you would do is you get an extension cord that was either longer than about 25 to 50 feet.
Mm.
So then now you could run that, you can take the phone with you into your room and then talk. So nobody could hear you, okay? Because that's how it was. Everything was connected with a wire, which was great. So it was funny because as a parent, you'd walk around and all of a sudden you see the phone line on the ground and you have to make sure you didn't trip over it. And that was a common thing back then. People would trip on the phone line because they weren't looking down, and all of a sudden the phone is extended out to the farthest part of the house, and somebody's talking on it. Exactly. Can you imagine that? You're connected to a phone with a wire, and you're talking at the farthest point of the house.
What's that you say? The special's waiting? Tell Edward to take it, please. And Gordon, leave him where he is. We'll get him out later.
Exactly. This video is brought to you by... We're doing this is what they do on YouTube, right? Sometimes they put in like an in-house in-video advertising.
In-video advertising, yes.
We're not really getting advertising from Garrett, but
yeah, but
this is what it is nowadays. You watch a video and all of a sudden, hey, I like to eat popcorn.
Yeah.
And when I eat popcorn, when I'm doing my videos, I get Garrett. So that's a brief history on how we use the phone. The point of this video is we socialize in person and on the phone.
Right.
Which is completely different from what you guys do. How do you communicate?
In person, physically.
Okay, but then you told me that you guys...
Virtually, online.
And you use...
social media.
Which ones?
Instagram. Sometimes we go onto YouTube, and there's also Facebook, and there's WhatsApp, WeChat, and there's if you have VPNs like Surfshark, you socialize however you want.
Well, I don't know Surfshark. Can you tell me what that is?
So a VPN is that's a virtual private network for like you want to like browse or navigate. Like
I have one of those. I have Nord something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so what is did you call it Surfshark or what?
Surfshark, yeah, I think it works.
Is that a VPN?
Yes, it's a VPN. It's like if you want to bypass like a firewall in a specific country outside of the USA.
Yeah, I use those when I travel.
Yeah, I know you do.
And I also use it here because it's less people finding out where I am.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about internet traffic.
Cool. So then you use social media to communicate with people, and that's what I see your generation doing, which is for us old people, it's kind of odd, but it works for you. It's fine. We're going to close out this short video about communicating with devices, phone lines. I'm just going to use this napkin here. So I'm telling you stories about when I was in the 7th and 8th grade.
Oh, yeah.
So then when I got into high school, it was the same thing, phone line. When I was in high school, I had girlfriends, and that's when it got interesting because, let's see, when I was in high school, my sister was also in high school. So I was a freshman and she was a senior.
Oh, she was ahead of
you. So she, of course, had priority over the phone line because she was older. So I had to wait until she was done with her phone line, and sometimes she and I would get in fights over the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it was physical. Sometimes she would hit me, and so I wouldn't take that crap. So I was, are you trying to hit me? Don't worry about that. So she and I used to have dragged out physical altercations, and then one day I put her in her place, and then she stopped hitting me.
Like a timeout, yeah.
Yeah, because I was physically bigger than her. She just thought she could still beat me up.
Yeah, but we learn here.
She was barely 5 foot, and now she's still barely 5 foot.
No, yes,
I'm 5'9".
It's okay.
In the mornings. I don't know about that anymore. I'm probably 5'8" now.
It's all right.
You shrink over time. So in high school, it was interesting because now the girls were calling me as well, and then they would call, and then my mom would answer the phone, and she would sniff them out and go, "Who is this? And what do you want? Where are you from?" And she would tell me if she liked them or not, because on the way they talked on the phone. Because sometimes these girls were not nice on the phone. They were like, "Hey, is Rudy there?" Like my mom didn't like that. My mom was a stickler for formalities. She would tell me, "I don't like this girl because she doesn't even say hello. She doesn't say please. She doesn't say anything. She just wants to talk to you. She's worthless." And my mom was usually right, but 99.9% of the time. So the ones that were like that were not worth it. So your mom always knows best. Just like your mom, Kelly, my wife, right? Yes. She always knows best. My mom always knew best too. So whenever a girl would call and was nice to her and would ask properly, she would say, "Oh, she seems to be well educated. She must go to a private school with nuns." It's like, okay, Mom, sure. That was true too.
Well respected or well rejected?
Yeah. So that's how we communicated. And then the cell phones didn't come into play until 1990.
1990.
My mom had a cell phone. It was a brick, Motorola. And I remember
that.
She had an antenna that she'd have to screw onto it to use it, and then she would turn it off. And then I remember using it a couple times. And then I remember getting the phone. I would use it to call one of my girlfriends when I was driving around. God, it was so crazy. A big old brick here on.
Yeah, brick and mortars. Yeah, the Motorola.
I'm driving a car, it's got a stick shift, and I'm trying to call her and say, "Hey, I'll be there in a little bit. I'm about to pick you up and get you."
At the beginning
of this... I gotta get off the phone because I can only do a minute phone call. Because if it goes over a minute, I get charged extra, and my mom's gonna kill me. Bye-bye, kick.
But we wouldn't mean any harm. It's just like, that's a pun.
Yeah. So that's how I communicated. But that's how we used the phone line. It was our secondary form of communication besides being in school and seeing people in person. But I would like to summarize this by saying that that helped us become social. I'm hoping that your generations, that your technology will also help you be social.
It does.
Yeah. Because as a parent, we think that your generation, they don't know how to do it. They're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
I believe that you guys have your own forms of communication that works for your generation, and that's how you guys would communicate. And it's just a different timing. Everything's different. I think our version was better because it was more personal. You could hear the person, and you could hear a lot in what people would say over the phone, and you could kind of deduce what they were thinking, which could be different from what they were saying. It's a lot easier. Nowadays, you're trying to decipher what people are trying to figure out what people are saying, or by the way they write, right?
Yeah,
and you can't really tell what they mean by the way they write.
Yeah, they learn the hard way.
All right, so that's our video on communicating in the 1980s and
in the present day.
Present day, which is what we
are in 2026.
Cool. All right, that was an awesome video. I'm gonna turn it on.
Right.
The irony is that I'm using a phone to make a video about phones. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.